Hi, I'm Graham.
And I'm Dawn. Welcome to Ty Deri. It's Welsh for Oak House.
We got through the planning process pretty much unscathed, actually.
Our daughters both said having a disability is nothing to be ashamed of. You should get a stylish lift and put it on display.
We still keep pinching ourselves, thinking, is this really ours or have we got to give it back?
I'm on my travels again. I'm visiting Graham and Dawn, a self-build project which really had design and future-proofing at its heart. And it really shows what can be achieved when you are working on a bespoke design for exactly how you and your family are going to live. I'm looking forward to this visit. It's going to be very special. Today I'm here in South Herefordshire on a lovely sloping site to meet with Graham and Dawn and have a tour around their beautiful new home. How long ago was it that we actually started on this journey? When did we first meet each other?
Well, I think it was 3 years ago or thereabouts, Tim, we first met.
Found you in a magazine and then we came to look at the show home and a tour around the workshops.
What a fantastic job you've done of the whole project.
Thank you. Would you like to come on and have a look inside?
I would love to see inside, thank you. So here we are, entering the home. Within design, we quite often talk about future-proofing the home, and I know here that you have thought quite carefully about future-proofing the home for how you would like to live both now and in the future. I wonder if you could tell us your story there a little bit.
Yes, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 24 years ago now, which made living in our previous house challenging, and so we knew that our next move was going to have to think about how the house was going to work for us, and me particularly getting upstairs.
And here we have the lift, which now the lift here is actually on show, which is not usual, I will say, but you do have a little bit of a story there as well, don't you?
Yes, we were going to conceal it in a cupboard or behind a wall. Lots of people are doing that, and our daughters both said having a disability is nothing to be ashamed of. You should get a stylish lift and put it on display.
And this, we're finding, is becoming more prevalent within our designs now, is future-proofing the home. And the other future-proofing is the smart lighting.
We went for a sort of a home automation system with the lighting, which it's already proving to be quite useful in that you can control lights from your phone or from one place where you're sitting, but also there's a feature at night where if Dawn needs to get up, she can press a switch beside the bed, and between certain hours of darkness it'll just produce a dim light. If
you have an understanding of a slight technical nature, then you really take full advantage of the system.
Yes, and think about it early in the design process. So we've got Cat6 cabling running through the house, but it's much easier to do that before your first fix is put in.
The earlier you can start thinking about things, the easier it becomes later on within the design.
And the other element of trying to future-proof it features in quite a few of the other rooms too, with kitchen designers and suppliers, and making sure that it was going to be easy to get around in a chair, for example, and getting the right distances between the island and the units.
The kitchen's always been important to me. Our previous houses we moved into had perfectly good kitchens, but not my style, and I could never justify ripping them out and starting again. So to start from scratch was a real treat. We found a local company that listened to our wishes and incorporated them, and we absolutely love it.
Lovely central island. Is this a limestone?
This is actually porcelain,
it
looks like limestone, yes.
Crikey, it's
but
amazing.
Much more practical.
Yes.
Yes.
I would not have guessed at all.
We went to Mandarin Stone and I was certain that I could tell the difference between the two, and I was wrong.
Nice to hear a story where you've looked at two things and chosen something which you like, but it's actually a little less. Every home starts with a story. I know we met each other 3 years ago, but it probably started a lot longer ago than that, I would imagine.
It did, yes, and Dawn, it's in your blood really, isn't it, in terms of your family?
Yes, my parents built their first home many years ago, then my brother followed, and then my sister went to Australia and she built her own house, so it's my turn now.
So it's in the family,
yes.
So every member of the family built their own home.
Yes.
We're here in the sunroom and a magnificent space. How did you come about the sizing, linking to the rooms there?
We did an awful lot of planning with cutting out bits of paper and putting it on a graph to try and visualise the space and how we would use it. And we had the oak dining table for many years,
yes.
So we knew that had to be fitted in here somehow.
With the Wrightwall panel system, how have you found the house to heat and to run?
Oh, it's been a revelation. I've just been staggered how warm this sunroom is. It's surrounded by face glazing on that side, yes. And yet we can be sitting in here in the winter completely isolated from the winter weather outside. It's really comfortable. We'd been here a year when I did some analysis on that, and I think that this house uses 1/6 of the amount of energy that our old house did.
So we're now here in the engine room of the home. You've actually brought it upstairs above the utility room into the vaulted space, which works very well. The fresh air has been drawn in through a filter,
yes,
and blown into the living areas of the house.
It's got a summer bypass, so it doesn't draw heat out in the summer when you don't want it, but during the winter, any warm air that you've taken the trouble to heat inside the house that's now being sent out through the system, the heat is drawn from that through a heat exchanger.
And with the system, the more airtight the house is, because in the winter when you've got the windows closed, you don't want any uncontrolled drafts.
To the extent that you don't need, or you don't really want, trickle vents in your window frames, because this does the job of those, and they would simply mess up the airflow. This way you're getting a much more controlled flow of clean filtered air.
So we're here now in the sitting room, and I'd just like to talk about where we started, the planning process for anybody who's contemplating going on this journey. What was the planning process like for you?
After looking for many years, eventually found this plot with planning permission for a different style house.
Yeah, so I think at that point we knew it was possible to build, but we didn't know if it was possible to build an oak framed house, the house we wanted. But with a lot of help from Oakwrights during that early design stage, we got through the planning process pretty much unscathed, actually.
How did you come about the shape and the style?
I think we knew early on the sort of house we wanted. Having had a large and rambling house, we wanted something that was going to be smaller, more manageable, and something that would suit us in our later years.
We decided that 3 bedrooms was enough, but we still enjoy the feeling of spaciousness and the open plan design. That we do have a downstairs study that could be used as a bedroom should it need to be.
Yes.
And I think one of the key design characteristics we wanted was not small rooms, fewer rooms, but larger rooms. I think the other advantage of picking a size is that with Oakwrights' help in the design, you can have any size you like within reason. So you can flex a one room here a little bit bigger or make another one a little smaller.
But orientation of the plot, how did you go about that to maximise the sun and the views?
Craig, the architect, helped design the orientation and maximising the views. It does mean that we have the front garden is our main garden.
Yes.
We want to take advantage of the sun and the views.
And I think a lot of thought had gone into the precise orientation. We knew we wanted to maximise the views, but do you angle it 5 degrees or 15 degrees left or right, thinking about where the neighbouring properties were, and protecting your views as well as giving some privacy was all important.
Here we are, we're sitting outside in your lovely garden, which I think is very important. That English cottage garden look is amazing.
We wanted something that would be natural looking, that would be easy maintenance and is attractive to birds and butterflies and bees. Within 2 hours of planting, it's almost like there was a signpost at the bottom of the road saying bees and butterflies this way. It was instant, wasn't it?
And a good relationship with the builder?
Oh, really important, and we were fortunate. We had a really good builder in Gareth, and his team were excellent, and you build up that trust.
As a percentage of the budget, what do you think you allowed for the landscaping?
It's probably 10% of the total budget, but I would now say, having had that experience, is that it's important to make sure that you do spend the right amount on the landscaping, because it's a beautiful house, you don't want to let it down.
We want it to be a welcome when people arrive, and I think we've achieved that.
You certainly have. Well, it's been a fantastic tour, and always at the end I like to ask my host, what would be your top tips for anybody considering going on the self-build or custom-build journey?
I would say it's never too early to think about the decisions you want to make for the finishing touches in the house. You think you've got plenty of time, but the decision making comes thick and fast as you're going along.
I think one of the things that we were very lucky with, we were blessed with a really good principal contractor. The builder, Gareth Bushnell, was amazing, and he had a team of people he worked with, and we got to know them all. We really trusted them. We had good communication channels with them, and they just look after you if you look after them, and it was a joy to work with them, to be honest. You know, that relationship I think is key. I think my other tip would be, if you are thinking of doing a build like this, absolutely go for it, because if we can do it, then you can do it.
It's always nice to understand the process of working with Oakwrights. How did it all go, and what would you recommend for anybody else choosing to move forwards in the direction of self-build?
We were encouraged tremendously by the Oakwrights team, and we were immediately drawn, I think, to the Oakwrights product, but also the people at Oakwrights. And it turned out they were each very helpful as we met the different departments who helped us through the different stages of the journey. That was really good, and it just made things come together.
I think what really helped us feel at home straight away was the fact that we had so much input into the designing and the building. First night we felt this is our home.
This is our home. Absolutely fantastic.
Had our best night's sleep for 2 years,
Yes.
I think, with the first night we moved in.
We have no regrets.
No, not at all. We still keep pinching ourselves, thinking, is this really ours, or have we got to give it back?
Yes, you can. Well, you don't have to give it back, and it's been a great pleasure working with you to create a dream home like this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed today's visit to this beautiful home here in the Herefordshire countryside. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on socials.